Welcome to the second episode of The Story Pilgrim, St Cuthbert's Way, from Melrose in Scotland to the Holy Island, Lindisfarne. I'm Darren Hill. Episode 1 took us from my home to halfway across St Cuthbert's Way. In distance, but in time I am only 1.5 days into a 5-day walk. Still plenty of landscape to traverse, people to meet, history to be recalled, and stories to tell. Episode 1 ended at the highest point on St Cuthbert's Way, Wideopen Hill, pushing on to Yet Home. I have come down off the hills and I'm walking up into Yet Home to the plough for this evening. 1.5 miles to go. Walking on a road, but there's a river down to the right, and I was reminded that coming down is just as tough. It's pretty steep. There's some places there, I would say it was about 45 degrees, somewhere between 30 and 45 degree angles, and your feet just get clumped up into your boots. So traverse across and back, zigzag down, still really tough. But yeah, down, final push into Yet Home, and what a lovely day. This today, much better with the signposting, still wet, my feet are soaking. Day 3, Yet Home to Wooler, approximately 14 miles. And then last night I had dinner with a couple, and they're retired and they're away for their Christmas present. Only able to do it now because of lockdown. But he was a banker all of his life, but he's also a painter, an artist. And so he was showing me some of his work and all the landscapes and stuff that he does, which is beautiful. A lot of talented people out there, and people either pursue it or don't, or just do it as a hobby. So the weather is saying that it's going to be dry all day today. It's still pretty cloudy, not as grey. I mean, it's grey. It's always grey in England and Scotland, so I'm still in Scotland. I do go over the border today into England at some point. We'll see if that is marked. It's pretty early in the day. Maybe in about an hour and a half or so. So off to Wooler. As I left Yet Home, I caught up to a fellow pilgrim, Greg. When I asked Greg what he did, he said he was a retired soldier and businessman. We got talking.
So if I put my military career into a number of epochs, it's a great word, don't know quite what it means, but
it is a great
word.
So
the 1980s was all about the Cold War. So for that, and obviously we had things like the Falklands that went on, which is sort of a diversion really, and Northern Ireland of course as well. Those are the things that were preoccupying the military. Then save for the brief interjection in the first Gulf War, which I think showed us that actually we hadn't really prepared or even thought about preparing or anything like that. But anyway, we managed to make it work and achieve the aim of pushing Saddam Hussein back.
Were you involved in that?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, I was reservist by then, so we weren't involved at all.
Right.
And the reserve, I think, during the 90s became slightly sort of forgotten, and there were lots of structural changes going on.
This is good stuff, isn't it? It's boggy.
A bit boggy down here. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was, and so we started mobilising people for what's known as Operation Telic, and Telic then played out over the first part of the invasion, and then the sort of stabilisation. And at that stage, by that stage, that was sort of about 2004-5, I actually became a brigadier, 1-star, and was the notional head of the Army Reserve.
Wow.
Reservist, working at the Army headquarters.
Wow.
So that was, it was a little bit of a surprise.
That's amazing. Well,
Much for me as was for everybody.
That is amazing.
Don't need congratulations. I was just in the right place at the
You
right
were,
time.
yeah. Well, obviously.
Serendipity is the watchword, Darren.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well, I think you're being probably a little bit humble, but you know.
So I was able to, I never, in some ways, regretted not being able to go and do a mobilised tour.
Sure.
But hopefully making a difference.
Yeah. No.
For the
Absolutely.
guys and girls who were involved, and we mobilised tens of thousands of reservists in the end.
Wow.
For that operation, but at the same time, currently Afghanistan bubbled up. I was then promoted into becoming the 2-star reservist proponent in the Ministry of Defence. The grand title of Assistant Chief of the Defence Staff Reserves and Cadets.
Wow.
As a general. So that's a 3-year appointment as a reservist. It's the most senior reservist appointment in the UK.
Wow.
And you're working in the Ministry of Defence.
Where else but on a long walk, a pilgrimage, could you meet and talk to Greg so openly, as equals? Pilgrimages are great levelers. It doesn't matter your status in life, you both have one goal in sight, to get to the end. I wanted to get to know more about Greg, the man.
How did you meet your wife?
An accident.
How long have you been married?
I shouldn't think about this. I'm 40 years next year.
Wow, congratulations. Well, that was a happy accident then.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah.
That sounds really arrogant, doesn't it, saying it like that? Yes, you've done really well holding on to me.
Well done.
No, you've put up with me for 40 years.
Wow.
No, we weren't quite school kid sweethearts, but we knew each other.
Is this one smaller?
It looks smaller, doesn't it?
It's smaller.
Part of the test, they make you smaller the further you go.
Is this like Alice in Wonderland or something?
That
that is definitely
You're
smaller.
expected to kind of lose weight as you carry on Sir Cuthbert's way.
I've got the gate.
Jeez.
That is
Yeah,
ridiculously
it is
small.
smaller.
How the heck? What are they doing? This is hilarious. I'm going to go feet first, like I did last time, and then.
And then you need to go down. There we go.
We are. Don't say that too loud. He'll probably hear you. Whoever it is that's put up, like, oh
I got
yeah.
the wrong side of a.
I should put barbed wire on the top of that.
Yeah, I got the wrong side of a fence on Tuesday,
Okay.
and it had barbed wire on the top of it. So I was trying to go over it, and I put my.
Do you think we go?
Oh,
We don't.
I think.
There's
no,
a
I
path
think
down
we go.
that. Do you think we go
I think
straight?
we go towards him.
Yeah.
I think it's straight.
Yeah.
Where's the worn ground?
I don't
Isn't
see
any
anything.
really, is there?
We did find the right direction to go. I was loving the company and wanted to know more about what makes Greg tick.
So, favourite place to walk?
That's such a hard question to answer. I don't know whether I have a single most favourite place. I mean, I do love being in the hills,
Yes.
even though I'm a man from the flatlands.
Yep.
But equally, I find parts of the world around Bath absolutely beautiful. Even though I've walked them hundreds of times before. We live just on the edge of Broadland in Norfolk, and it's beautiful countryside.
Yes.
But very different to this, obviously. And we've got a place like the North Norfolk coast, which is barren, salt marshy. But
just
beautiful in its own right.
yeah.
What about you?
That's a really good. Again, like you said, it's a tough one. I absolutely adored the Camino.
Yeah. Did you walk? No, you wouldn't have done if you'd done a Camino. We walked on the Picos. That was our aiming point. And we then went back to the Picos and then did the rest of it about 2 years, 18 months later.
Yeah.
And the Picos are fantastic. They really are glorious.
A little later, we came across two people heading in a different direction. They came down from another path, not on St. Cuthbert's Way. We said hello.
I think we go straight on.
Do we?
Morning, how are you?
Hello.
Very well indeed.
Great. That's a great walking stick.
Well, it's 30 odd years old.
I bet.
The man who made it was in his 80s.
Wow.
Maybe several actually, but he was a stick maker.
Yeah.
Just a job.
Yeah.
Where are you heading today?
We're just going to Els now and then round.
Ah, you're doing a circular.
Well, we're doing the 99 Cheviots.
Oh yeah.
Just
Good.
to
So
call-
how many
call
more
it
have you
in.
got to do?
Well, I think we're about 34. So,
Okay.
But we only started in November.
Oh, well done.
That's amazing.
And then, of course, we had to stop because of lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yourselves?
St. Cuthbert's Way.
Yeah. But this is very quiet.
It's lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Yeah.
No, St. Cuthbert's not too. I don't even know. Did is it St. Cuthbert's Way because it came from Melrose to Lindisfarne? That's why
They
it's
say
not-
so. Yeah.
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 After
Yeah.
they
He'd
carry
say
his
he was
boat.
around here, visiting people and spreading the word, I guess. So they've kind of made the story around it.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I was reading about Cuthbert, and he was around when there was a great yellow plague, and the great yellow plague killed half of the population, they reckon, of Europe at that time.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Panda.
Fast forward to 2021.
Exactly.
Because we were, well, I don't know, it's only one little history about St. Aidan and and then St. Palidus
That's right.
over at baptising like 3,000 people on Yevring Bell.
Oh, really?
And I don't think it would actually thought, well, that was a long bit, but there was a hill fort in Yevring Bell. You've read that, and there's a lot.
You'll pass quite close to it.
Yeah.
On St. Cuthbert's.
That's
So there
right.
was over
Yeah.
Be on
100
your left.
Okay. Okay.
habitation, over 100 on the top of Yevring Bell, but
You know. It's it.
Anyway, we're
Wonderful.
better let you get on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, you better go.
you
You
too.
better go. You've got hills to
Yeah.
count.
That's it. Get up that.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
So good
you
luck
too.
anyway.
You
Yeah,
too.
nice to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, so we carry on doing?
Yeah, I think we carry on down here into Heckful. I
Okay.
don't think we take from looking at the brief
The
scan
map.
of the map.
Greg and I were making great time, the conversation taking our mind off the task in hand, walking. We walked in valleys and along ridges, at times being able to see man-made lines in the landscape, evidence of Iron Age settlements. This area of the world is steeped in history. You can feel it, sense it, bask in it. You could also feel something else.
Side of Wooler, and it is just peat bog. It's just bog. And finding out that my hiking boots are very good at keeping water in. So it feels like I have a bath in both of my boots at the moment. We can see the Chavoits to our right and a lot of heather up here. So apparently this is quite a popular grouse hunting, shooting area. But yeah, very boggy.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. This pilgrimage pulled me closer to nature than I have been in a long time. You can hear it all around.
So I've just left Greg. He had to take a phone call. We were right on the outskirts of Wooler. So just walking into Wooler now. That was a lovely walk. Beautiful day. very muddy and boggy today, so it feels like I've still got half the bog in my foot, especially my right foot. But really fascinating gentleman again, and we're going to walk tomorrow together. So he's staying with the vicar of Wooler this evening, who he knows from back home, and he's going to walk up to Fenwick. So I think I can walk to Fenwick tomorrow and then maybe take a taxi or a car across to Lowick, which is where I'm staying tomorrow night.
Day 4. Wooler to Lower Fenwick, approximately 14 miles. I met up with Greg at St Mary's and we set off together.
Okay.
So this is the inner farmer in me.
Yeah.
Convinced me that I really ought to have some sheep at one stage, and so I first started off by buying in lambs and fattening them, and then I was convinced to get into breeding sheep, and I eventually fell upon a breed called Borarays, which are a rare breed, and I think there are now about 500 breeding ewes in the UK.
That's it.
So not many still,
No.
but they have come back. There were fewer than that a few years ago, and so we have these. They're funny little Scottish sheep. They're apparently descended from something that was called the Scottish tan face. So there are a few people like us who are trying to
Keep them going.
keep them going.
But so when you got them, did you have to have any training, or did the person that you were getting them from, do they have to authenticate that you're going to be able to
We've
look
gone
after
wrong.
them? Have we gone wrong?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we should have gone left at the top of the wood there, and over the.
oh, this bit here.
Yeah, we should have gone down into that wood. But instead, we're now at the end of that little bit of wood there.
Right.
So we either have to backtrack, which is probably the best thing to do, because I think
We were looking at the sheep, weren't we?
So there's that.
We want to go over that way, don't we?
There's that wall there. Get above quarries. Where does that wall goes? Hang on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're not. Yeah, we are. We're way off.
Yeah,
I
that's
think probably the easiest thing to do is to go back up to where we were and
because
then pick the track up again.
Go
Yeah, we
back.
came through that gate.
yeah,
Because we
that
were
was
looking
it.
at the
We
sheep.
were looking at the sheep.
Anyway, oh well,
There you go.
that's not bad. Basically, I've learned what I've learned about sheep from other people,
Okay.
and other people telling me their sheep stories
Yeah.
and their experience.
I love that. I have learnt from other people telling me their stories. That's what I do. Is that what we all do?
Okay.
Wheatwood Hall, is that Wheatwood?
Oh yeah. Oh no, we go. According to this, we go up here and then round to the right.
Yeah.
And then
We're going to do a
carry on
sharp.
to Chimney Hill and Horton. So
Yeah, we're going to do a
Chimney
sharp
Hill up
right.
there. Yeah.
And a second up to Sweet Horn and Chimney Hill, yeah.
One of the places I was looking forward to visiting was St Cuthbert's Cave. Cuthbert shepherded sheep in this area before becoming a monk. In his later years, he lived in the cave as a hermit, and in death, his body was brought to the cave by the monks from Lindisfarne Priory, escaping the invading Danes. It held a special place in his heart, and I quickly could see and feel why.
So here we are at St Cuthbert's Cave, and it's much bigger than what I was expecting. It doesn't go in very deep at all, it's just like an indent into the hillside. But it's really quite impressive. Very peaceful as well.
All of a sudden we heard the familiar sound of a cuckoo. At this moment, my thoughts shifted to my grandparents, who used to have a cuckoo clock. I was brought to this place because of St. Cuthbert, and while at his cave, a cuckoo, nature, gifted me a sound that turned me back to my family, reflecting on their lives, on those relationships. I felt comforted, loved, uplifted, and not alone.
Just keeps going.
Does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it? What time it is? Clearly using the 24-hour clock, isn't it?
He is. Is it both males and females that do that?
I'm not sure. All I know is cuckoos are pretty nasty, aren't they, to other birds?
They are, aren't they? They stick their eggs in. And they just leave them.
Yeah,
they do, don't they?
Other people do all the hard work.
Do they?
We had a bite to eat for lunch, and then
we have left St. Cuthbert's cave, Cuddy's Cove, and as you come up over the back there, you get your first glimpse of the holy island of Lindisfarne. And I'm just coming up now to another little ridge, and there it is. You can see it laid out right in front of me. There's the sea and the causeway and the castle.
There she's low.
Yeah.
No, the village is all tucked in just over there. You see those white houses, and that's where the abbey is as well, just on the right hand side of the village from there. And then in fact I think you can make out the abbey. There's a long greyer building on the right hand side.
Yep.
There.
Yeah, I think I see it.
And yeah. And
so where's the causeway?
The causeway is up over here.
Okay.
And you can see any vehicles. If you picked out a vehicle, you'd see it, but it's all basically across there.
Today was drawing to an end. Greg and I got into a rhythm of walking, conversation, silence, appreciating each other's company, and the need to also delve into our own thoughts.
So we are walking up now to Fenwick, and over on the right you can see the sea and the castle at Lindisfarne stretching off into the distance there. It's just beautiful, but we're still obviously walking through the countryside. And you do think about, all the people that have lived in this area over the hundreds of years, and how many people have come wanting to see this journey, to do this journey, to see that site. We talk about legacies and leaving ourselves. What legacy do you want to leave? Do you want to leave a legacy? But you feel the collectiveness of the spirits. Am I putting that on myself? Or is that, is that here? Is it in this path? But I'm also walking in, Cuthbert would have walked around these areas, St. Aidan and Boisel and many other people, What matters right now is this moment, is for me is being in the moment, is soaking it up. Anya sent me an email and said, walk slow. And there's a lot to that. That's great advice. Walk slow, soak it up. What a joy, what a privilege to be just a part of this moment at this moment in time. Very lucky.
I made it to Lower Fenwick in good time. My accommodation for the evening wasn't open yet. I sat outside and soaked up the village.
So here I am now in Lowick, and I'm about 3 miles off St Cuthbert's Way. So in the morning, the time I think of the causeway being open and being able to walk is between 9:30 and 3 o'clock. And they reckon it takes a couple of hours to walk across, so I need to be getting there for like 10 o'clock, I think. So from Fenwick, it's probably about an hour's walk. So if I can get out of here in the morning quite early and make my way over there. But it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. You just see, I didn't realise how far out the island is really. It's quite, you think about St Michael's down in Cornwall, I think it is. It's quite close, but this one is quite far out. And the sea looks so calm, and it looks beautiful.
Day 5, the final day. Fenwick to Lindisfarne, the Holy Island. Approximately 6 miles.
It is 8:51 on May the 29th, Saturday. I am stood in Fenwick, getting ready to start my final leg of St Cuthbert's Way. It's very foggy this morning. You basically can't see more than a couple of 100 metres in either direction, but that should lift, they reckon, about 10 o'clock. That should be just about as I get to the causeway. It's been a wonderful week, and even though it's just 5 days, it's quite interesting in that time of just reconnecting to nature, reconnecting to history in a way that helps you to reflect. How can I move forward in my life and what's important to me and to my environment that I'm in? It's been lovely, a beautiful 4 days, and got mixed feelings of sadness of like it's coming to an end, also excited to get over to the island today to have that journey. But it'll always be here. That's the wonderful thing, isn't it? That's the thing that I find fascinating wherever I've lived, wherever I've moved around the world. It just keeps going, you know. I'm looking at a row of workers' cottages that have probably been there since the 1800s, and how many families have lived in those, and what stories have those cottages collected.
The fog refused to lift. It made for a very eerie start to the day. Visibility was low and there was a chill in the air. I came to a railway crossing in the corner of a field.
So you can hear that. I am at a railroad crossing. It says you are at Darren Hill. You must always phone the signalman before crossing to ensure it is clear to cross.
I made a call on the phone provided.
Hi, I'm walking St Cuthbert's Way. I'm at Darren Hill. Yeah, I will do. Thanks. Okay, so he says we're not to cross at the moment because there's trains coming. He said, can you phone me back? So we just have to wait. I can hear cars, but I can't hear any trains. This is one of those moments where you're like, yeah, gotta go. Oh, here he comes. This is a high-speed train. Yeah, that's moving. give him another call. He said trains, so I mean maybe that's just his vocabulary. See what he says. Hi, it's at Fenham Hill again.
I just confirmed Fenham Hill. How many in your party?
Just me, just one.
One person. How long will it take you to cross?
A minute, less than a minute.
Okay, one person across at Fenham Hill, less than a minute. Please cross immediately, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Across the railway lines without incident, it was an unexpected, fun addition to the walk. Soon I could smell and see the sea. The fog was still refusing to lift. I couldn't see the island, but soon could see the causeway and the poles reaching out into the grey.
Here we are. I have just hit the road which takes you over the causeway, and I'm at the very first pole. They're probably about 12-15 feet high, and I can see them, like, they go along the road and then they sort of like go south of the road in a straight line across the causeway. It's a bit like it's not like, but it's a bit like on the Camino when you're getting close to Santiago, you're getting closer to your destination, you get more people. It does look like there are patches, maybe, I don't know if it's patches of fog or patches of rain out here, but it just extends out. I wonder how many, I'm sure there's some fact somewhere of how many poles there are. But yeah, so we still can't actually see the castle or the island from here.
It was difficult to know where to start walking across the causeway. I picked a spot and went for it. I stepped off the tarmacked road and onto the wet sand.
Okay, let's go down to this pole and make our way across. Alright. So we are officially off the road, and I'm on sand and mud and seaweed. Oh yeah, this is pretty deep water. There we go. Lots of little shells, little scallop shells and stuff. There's a sign of the Pilgrim.
The mist was relentless. It was not shifting, but added to the mysticism, magic, suspense of the final few miles of St. Cuthbert's Way. It was as if the way was telling me that it's not about the destination, it's about the present moment. Be aware of what is around you and soak it all in.
There is mist actually rolling in now. So when I, literally a few minutes ago, I could see ahead of me possibly, 20 poles. I can now see 4. So the view is really blocked, and I'm coming up to the first tower. You wouldn't want to get stuck up on that. Well, I guess you would want to get stuck up on that, because if you weren't up on it and the sea came in, you would get very wet. So I'm sure if you had to use it, you would be grateful that it was there. All is well. It's quite spiritual, mythical, magical, ominous. All those wonderful adjectives get conjured up as you're walking across what was a few hours ago completely covered in sea. And you can see the mark on the poles. The water line probably goes up about 4 feet, maybe 3.5, 4 feet. That's how high the tide's going to come in. So you have until 3, I think they said 3:30 today to get across, so I have plenty of time walking over here. It's not like it's going to rush in and sweep me away. But yeah, you think only a couple of hours ago this was completely just covered in sea, in the North Sea. And I look off to my right and it's just grey. Just can see the beach or the causeway. Look off to my left and there's the sand dunes, which is protecting this area a little bit, protecting the road. Quite an end to a beautiful walk. It's not over yet. Still got to get there.
Finally, the end came into sight, and with that came time for more reflection.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty much nearly there, and again, it's just beautiful. It's just very, with the mist and the water. It's this one for me has been, again, the people that I've met, but also the nature. It's a beautiful world we live in, a beautiful planet we have. It's amazing, but it's right on our doorsteps. It's wonderful to go and see different countries and cultures, but we got it right here on our doorstep as well. A couple of hours, 3-4 hours on a train outside of London, and you really are in some beautiful areas, and so diverse as well. This is just one little tiny spot on the coast of Great Britain. Yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more poles to go until we reach t'other side, as they might say. And I can see off there to the right is the village. We'll get over there and look at my boots. Oh, it's just mud. It's just mud. Sandy mud. That was quite an experience. What a great end to a wonderful walk. So here we are at the final post as we step off the sand. It's just a sign, isn't it? It's just a sign saying don't take your dog. Wunderbar. Let's take a picture of me where I've just come from. Lovely. Oh, there's a bus. Could have taken the bus.
Upon reaching the island, I began to be surrounded by tourists visiting Lindisfarne, as it was a bank holiday weekend. I made it. The end of St. Cuthbert's Way. 62 miles, 5 days, Melrose to Lindisfarne.
This is it. This is the end of St. Cuthbert's Way. And it's just been 5 days. And go with the flow. And I think that's it for me, is that unexpectedness, that being open. I think that's a key to life, is being open to the opportunities and the things, the environment around you. That's what's really taught me this last 5 days, really, really strongly, the nature, the environment, the world in which I place myself in, that I live in, that I find myself in. In London, it's very easy to get caught up in capitalism, in keeping up with the Joneses, in expectations, in rules. This is what you should be doing with your life. In other people's expectations. It's so easy to get caught up and to think that you should be doing a certain thing because somebody told you that's the right thing for you to do, or an institution told you, or the government tells you, or your church tells you, or your friends or society, you know. And I think the most important decisions you make are the ones that you figure out yourself. I don't know if important is the right word, but the most poignant ones. That's what life's about, isn't it? Growing and learning and helping and stretching oneself. Very, very fortunate to have this time to reflect. And how does this move forward now? How do I take these experiences, take what I've been feeling, and put that into my work as a performer, as an artist, as an actor? Again, I'm rambling, but it's just all born from these experiences, and just really, I say it again, this week of being closer to nature has really hit it home. And maybe it's again a stage in my life at my age where you do start to slow down a little bit and do start to look or want more from life. There's so much. But this has been wonderful. We'll see if we have any stories coming this evening. If we have a storytelling evening, I'm just going to sit myself in the bar and have my sign there, see if anybody wants to talk. So it's been wonderful.
How does it move forward? Only I have the answer for that. Dickens' phrase, "We are all fellow passengers to the grave," rings so true with me. We are all on the journey of life. St. Cuthbert's Way pulled me closer to nature, closer to certain individuals, and closer to myself. Myself. Who is that? Who are you? Where are you? Wherever you are, please keep asking questions, keep listening to the answers, and join us again on The Story Pilgrim. The Story Pilgrim was written and produced by Darren Hill. Original music composed and performed by Anya Backer. For more information about The Story Pilgrim, Darren and Anya, go to thestorypilgrim.com or follow us on Instagram and Twitter @The Story Pilgrim.